All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome and happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for our weekly coffee with the principal. I hope you've had a good week. It's been freezing in the mornings, but hopefully that will change soon. But thank you so much for taking the time this morning. I'm excited to share with you a bunch of stuff that our students have been working on and that they've been participating in this past week and some of it last week as well. And then just a few COVID updates and reminders, and then, time for your Q&A. All right, just as a reminder, you're joining muted. Feel free to use the chat box as needed. We're recording, and then we get to the Q&A. Feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat box, or just unmute yourself if we're small enough, which we usually are. All right, so just a couple of things I want to share from this week. The best part of any day that I have at the school is when I get to go into classrooms and see what the kids are doing and learning and exploring together. This week I got to go into some math classrooms, and one of my favorite topics when I taught algebra was being taught this week, learning about functions and setting the groundwork for understanding how functions work in terms of the relationships between input and output. And the kids came up with this mnemonic way to remember it, in and out the restaurant, because food is on the brain when you're a 12-year-old 13 14-year-old kid. So super excited about that. And you can just see some of the ways that our teachers are engaging our young people in exploring functions and learning not just what they are, but how to tell the difference between functions and not functions on graphs, from equations, from tables, and from ordered pairs. So I won't give you all a quiz this morning if you remember how to identify whether these are functions or not. But if you've got, I believe, some 8th graders, you may want to ask them that this week. All right. I want to give a shout out to Miss Jones and to her journalism classes. They published this week our first student newsletter, and I think they put that on Class Dojo. So I'd encourage you to all check that out this week and see what our students are writing about and how they're writing, and the different things that kids are doing to not only capture the subjects that really matter to them, but also to write about them in a really powerful way. So shout out to Ms. Jones and to her students for doing that. Our FIYA basketball team is off and running. We have played 3 games so far this season. And I'll say that we have played 3 games so far this season, and they're coming together as a team. Last week they played Palms Middle School, and this evening they play St. Anastasia's, who are just across the street. So they want to win, and eventually that will happen. All right. This past week, the teachers and the students had a Valentine's Day door decoration contest. So in the image on the left, you can see all of the cool door decorations that the kids designed and put up on their doors to celebrate the holiday. And you can see and ask your child about what that was like to celebrate that together. All right. And then lastly but not leastly, shout out to Miss Guith and to all of our families and other folks who participated in last Friday's career day. We had quite a number of really amazing professionals come to the school and share their work, share their jobs with our students. And I am super grateful to partner with families and to partner with other contacts among our folks when it comes to really inspiring our kids to know and to do what comes next in their lives. And it is super helpful for them to just be able to see an actual person who is a firefighter, or who is a web animator, or who is a nurse, or who is doing all of the various careers for that. So we plan on doing that every single year. So if you are a 7th or 8th grade family now, start thinking about this for next year. thank you again so much for all of you who participated. Okay. Wow, we're going faster than I thought. Just a couple of COVID updates, and here's what they are. One is we are now, I'm gonna jinx it, I know, but we're now in our third consecutive week with 0 positive tests. You can go on the COVID dashboard anytime and see Catherine Johnson. You can see any school in the district. One of the things that you'll notice if you look at this graphic is that, the number of tests that's happening each week is a little bit lower than that usually is. And that is because, if you remember, if an individual has had a confirmed case of COVID in the last 90 days, they actually do not test every week moving forward. Once they isolate and recover and return to school, they don't test for 3 months, and then they start resume testing. So we're super excited to be able to continue to have healthy and safe practices here at the school. But stay tuned, because as the numbers and the data we're tracking improve, the district is starting to look at relaxing some of the guidelines around restrictions around COVID. So one of them actually went into effect this week with the updated outdoor mask policy. So starting this week, students and staff members are not required to wear masks outdoors. And so we've seen a lot of students and staff members take advantage of that. And this is one of my favorite pictures from this week, because we can see the smiles from our young people, in this case playing jump rope outside, but it also allows our students to be able to read each other's emotions far better. So there was a quick video I posted on YouTube just about that updated outdoor mask policy. So we understand that some families and some kiddos are still really comfortable wearing the mask outside, and that's totally fine. Sometimes it's just easier to wear it outside because you don't have to remember to take it on and off, but we do have that option available for our kiddos. Trying to think of anything else. Moving forward, let me just say one thing. So with the outdoor mask policy, we still have indoor masks for all our students, all the time. So that remains in effect until that changes. Last thing I'll share about this is that we have a new superintendent in town, and he is sending out pretty frequent updates to staff members about not only what the policies are, but what kind of policies the district is thinking about. So this came out yesterday and simply acknowledges that there are starting to be some indoor mask restrictions being lifted. However, again, for the time being, all people must wear masks indoors, unless you are like me right now in my office all by myself, but all students and staff members wearing masks indoors. And so the indoor mask mandate lifting doesn't apply to K through 12 schools here in LA Unified. We're going to, the district and Catherine Johnson, we're going to continue to do weekly testing every week. Kids are testing right now as we speak. And we'll keep monitoring the data. I'll give you an update every week. One of the things that the district is reviewing is the frequency of that. And so as soon as I know if there will be a change in the frequency that kids are testing, I will be sure to communicate that with all of you and our staff members as well. But right now, the only thing that changed is the mask mandate outside. Okay. that is literally it. Not a whole lot of new things, but I did want to share with you some of those, some of the amazing work that our kiddos have been doing. I'm super proud of them. I'm super proud of our teachers who are continuing to work with them and to collaborate together. And I'm incredibly thankful for all of your partnership and all of your participation. And, you know, we get so many questions about, you know, how can I help? How can I support the school? And we're so grateful to have such an amazing group of families who work with our teachers and our kids. So I just want to say thank you. There's not an ask there, but I just want to say thank you for that. Okay. I can take some Q&A if you'd like to. So I'll go on mute, and if anyone has a question, you can raise your digital hand, or you can type it in the chat, or you can, if it's awkwardly silent, you can just unmute. So we'll give it some awkward silence time until there's a question. There's a question in the chat. Any details to share on the culmination? So what I can share with you right now is actually, yeah, let me show you something. Great question. All right. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Okay. And actually, let me do this. Let's do it this way. Let's see if this is better. Can you all see my screen? Yes. Okay, cool. So earlier this week, I posted a link on here called Class of 2022 Culmination Information. And so if you go to this page on our website, and you can also directly link it, let me put this in the chat. You can also directly link it here. This is going to be the page where we post all of our culmination updates as we get closer. So there is some culmination update that we can share with you now, and that is the date's been set since the start of the year. It's going to be on Friday, June 10th. The time that culmination is going to happen is it's going to be at 2:45, and the reason it's going to be at 2:45 is because the district over winter break made June 10th an instructional day. And so usually that's a pupil free day, but this year it's an instructional day. So what we're going to do is on that Friday, June 10th, we're going to have a minimum day here at the school. And so dismissal on the minimum day, I think, is at 1:23. So, you know, 1:20 in the afternoon. And so all students are dismissed at 1:20. And then once dismissal happens, then we will, you know, get everything ready. The stage and the chairs will all be set up, and the ceremony will start at 2:45. And we're a small school, so, you know, I don't think it'll last an hour, but we aim to be done by about 3:45 or so. The attire is listed right there. We keep that the same from year to year. I don't know what the COVID testing protocol will be for that. As soon as I know, I'll obviously share it with you here, and I'll also share it here. We typically have some awards, like an awards night that week, and some activities that happen for culminating students. Once we get closer to the date, those will be updated here. And right here, we shared this, or Ms. Guth shared this with families back in October, regarding the timeline around what does it take to be eligible in order to participate in culmination. And all of those details are also posted here as well. So glad you asked that question. And again, you can find that on our website. It's also directly in the link right there. And just as remember, it's in the Our School right up there at the top, Class of 2022 culmination information. Great question. All right. Are there other questions that folks have?
Okay, Mr. Huntsberger, not a question, but just a comment. A thank
Yes.
you to you for doing this every Friday morning. I know your life is busy, hectic, crazy, but even taking out this half an hour, I appreciate it because I literally work from 6 a.m. to 7 o'clock. So like getting to the school or sometimes even meetings in the evening are difficult. I appreciate this very, very, very much.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad that it's helpful. It's also helpful for me. At the previous school I used to work at, we would do it once a month, and it just wasn't enough, and we would try to pack so much in, and then if I forgot something, I was like, oh no, I have to wait another month. So this is better, and I appreciate you all showing up. When I started these, when COVID happened every week, I thought, I'll get some people for the first week, and then they'll get tired of me, and you're not tired of me yet. I'm appreciative. Any final questions before we wrap up? All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining me today. I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you right back here next Friday. One other thing I will mention before I forget is we've had Westchester High School join us for coffee with the principal. That is saved and online. We had Venice High School last week. That is saved and online. If there are other high schools that you are interested in me inviting to join me here, whether you're 8th grade, 7th grade, or 6th grade family, just shoot me an email, and I'll cold call them. But and usually a lot of high schools are very happy to come and join at a middle school. So just put that in the back of your brain, and if you'd like to have a special guest, we can very likely arrange that. So have a great weekend, everybody, and stay warm, and we'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.